All right. So there is some of the group. It won't let you see all of them, but there are 11 or so here today. And like I said, I'm going to quick step out, but I'll let you present, and you have until right around noon, I think we said, right? So we're good.
We're good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I am glad you are out and about. I apologize for another Zoom, but I am out of town and excited to share with you. So glad that we can still do it. For those of you that don't know me well or remember, Debbie Shirtliff, I spent a few decades in the world of work. I have an MBA in finance from Drexel University. I have spent the last decade in the world of well-being, internationally certified as a yoga therapist, and have an inner MBA certification from New York University in conscious leadership. So excited to be blending that with you today and sharing. So I see paper and pencils in front of a lot of you, or your phone, whatever. We will be doing some notes just to yourself, only for yourself. So as long as you have something there, let's get started. So, well-being and work. I feel a bit diverse at times, a bit on the opposite ends of the spectrum. Let's take a moment, first of all, right now, and see how you define each. What does well-being mean to you?
Deb, do you just want us to answer as a group?
You can just write your own reflection of that.
Okay.
Because I'm hoping that it is unique to each of you. And we don't need to come to consensus on anything we talk about today. And then when you're ready, how do you define work? First thoughts that come to mind.
Earning money.
So for me, and then you can all share as well if you wish. For me, well-being is like that lake, right? That calm water, that peaceful feeling. And work to me feels like 1,000 different colored sticky notes. Like I am thinking this and this and this and here and there. Anyone else like to share?
I did well-being, feeling positive about both my internal and external situations in work. Yeah, I agree. I think your metaphor is great. I agree with that. And then just kind of like a necessity. Which
So if you anybody else, I'm sorry.
Well-being, I
If
did.
you look-
I'm
You
sorry.
go.
I did health and attitude for well-being, and just work. I just enjoy my job.
So that's a great example for you. The two blend a little bit already, don't they? If you enjoy what you're doing. Yeah. So how many of you felt like the two definitions already unite? And how many felt like they're a little bit on opposite ends of the spectrum? Yeah.
It depends on the day.
Yeah.
Depends on the day. It depends.
Very true, right? Depends on the challenge of each day, depends on the tasks at hand, perhaps. Depends on where you've shown up that day, right? Where you've come from when you show up at work on each day can be different. Excellent. All right, so we're going to look at our layers of a being. So ancient yoga philosophy says there are 5 layers of your being. Theosophy and some other religious aspects say you have 7 layers to your being. So there's many different thoughts on how to approach this. For our work today, I've brought it down into 3 layers, which I like to call my me, myself, and my I. So you have your physical, right? Your energetic body, your outward reflection in this world. You have your mind, so your intellect, your consciousness, all those never-ending thoughts that are spiraling a bazillion times a day. And then you have your deep inner, your wisdom, right? Your soul, your being. Although these are 3 separate views of you, they actually are all blended as well. So think about the last time that you had perhaps a difficult situation at work or at home, and you're looking for that answer, or you're trying to remember something, or you know that you know the answer, you just don't know what it is. And when does that come to you? Is it 3 o'clock in the morning? Is it in the shower? Is it when you're not trying to think that wisdom can come through? When you're not focused outward on all of the other things taking your attention, that wisdom can speak, the intellect can engage. So again, blending wellness with work, we are already blended beings. So we just need to pay perhaps more attention to how we allow all those parts of ourselves show up. So let's start with the body, the physicalness. Another quick definition for yourself. What do you view as stress? Any shares?
I put worry and doubt. It's internal, but then it can be reflected externally. Have both ideas.
Mm-hmm.
My name.
Right.
So once again, there's no wrong, right? Whatever you view as stressful is stressful to you and results in these responses that you see on the screen. So your sympathetic nervous system engages. whenever you encounter a stressor. That's the fight or flight system, right? I like to add the freeze or freak. We flight, we fight, we freeze, we freak. They're all in that sympathetic nervous system response, which is responsible for our protection and our survival. It's not wrong. It allows us to exert energy. Our breathing becomes shorter, more shallow. The difficulty with our stress response is that the stressors in our world today are not as physical as they are mental. Because our minds feel that they are constantly in a stress space, our physical body is reacting to that with these responses. Let's talk about now the relaxation response. What to you defines relaxation?
Definitely rest.
Alignment.
Again, whatever relaxes you, right? But my only caution on our relaxation response is that it's not titled a numbing response, right? Fine line between what brings us into that parasympathetic nervous system activation and what just dulls everything around us. When we can come to the place of blending our well-being with our daily self, then we can catch those moments that we're in stress response. We can consciously bring on board our relaxation response and avoid the numbing. So, relaxation response, the rest and digest, growth and development, conserves energy, and has long, deep breaths. So a key factor here is that you can trigger either one through the breath. Something, you're sitting at your desk, you're on the job, you're in the truck, get a phone call, and something stressful is happening, right? Notice the breath. Has the breath become very short, very shallow? Chest breathing. Take a moment, breathe in and out through the nostrils, get the breath deep into the lungs, and it will bypass that physical reaction to that stress trigger. Any questions on our physical reaction? All right, let's move on to the mind. So, three main systems of the brain: the neocortex, which includes the prefrontal cortex. This is your executive director. If you think about it, perhaps you know your prefrontal cortex very well. It is the one that tells you what you're going to do all the time. Sometimes it's hard to make it be quiet. It is the doer, the achiever, the director. It likes to talk a lot. The limbic system, more to the center of the brain, is your emotional system. Many of us don't like to visit or acknowledge, I should say, the limbic system often, right? We tend to allow the prefrontal cortex to tell the limbic system to hush up. I don't have time to feel this right now. I need to get things done. But if you think about emotions simply as directions, a message, like the big orange flashing PennDOT sign on the side of the highway that says, accident ahead, you may want to consider an alternate route. That is the role of our emotions. And if we pay attention to that or allow them to pass through, to surface, to be acknowledged, they dissipate, right? The message has been heard, off they go. What we tend to do when we hesitate about acknowledging them is we stuff them away, and then they don't go away. And then, you know, you're sitting in traffic for 3 hours because there was a crash ahead. So viewing that limbic system as an ally, viewing emotions as a messenger can be really helpful. Third piece of the brain is the reptilian brain. And we also should appreciate our reptilian brain because it is responsible for all our functions. We don't have to think about breathing. We don't have to think about digesting our food, telling our hearts to beat, right? That's all happening in the background. So understanding and balancing much more of those internal mind systems. The last thing to touch base on, which I find very interesting, is our brain operates in a binary function. That to a programmer means a 1 or a 0. Nothing else. It has to be a 1 or a 0. It has to be black or white. There's no gray. It has to be yes or no response to an inquiry. It can't be maybe, let me think about that. So knowing that our mind functions on a binary basis, we can start to back up a little bit with those quick responses and be able to say, wait a minute, there's a bigger picture, right? There's more options than yes or no. There's more options than go or stay. And that opens up, again, our ability to find well-being. It's not the do or die. All right, any questions on mind and brain? All right, jumping into your state of being. Your inner resource, your true self, there's many descriptors, but that piece of you that makes you who you are. And finding from that place the resilience to deal with all of the rest. Resilience tools are unending. This is a short list. As you look at that, what do you see as your favorite, or perhaps one you already practice, or the easiest one to implement? And make a note of that for yourself.
What's the, on the left-hand column, sixth one? Nidra.
Oh, Nidra Prajna. Thank you for asking. That is a practice I have developed based on, perhaps you've heard of Yoga Nidra, which translates as yogic sleep. And that is a very calming reset. Nidra Prajna takes that a step further. Prajna translates as wisdom. So it is a guided meditation into your own wisdom, and a tool that I use with clients to help them find direction or answers to questions, finding resilience, right? So if many you feel drawn to a couple, circle one of those. Start with one. Or if you already practice one, perhaps you add another. Oftentimes we want to do it all and do it all now, but let's just start with one practice that you can add to your day. 5 minutes. 5 minutes a day. There will be time to increase that. There will be time to add more practices. But for right now, write yourself a permission slip. I give myself permission to spend 5 minutes a day doing blank. And you can sign your parents' name, you can sign your name, whatever you're used to with writing permission slips.
Yeah.
Okay, is everyone ready to move on? Any questions?
Is rewriting the story like altering your perception of an event to like see the silver lining?
Exactly, and not just a past event, but a future. So perhaps the story running in my nonstop mental tape is that tomorrow I have a difficult thing and it's going to be this and this and this. So I can rewrite a story in the future. I can rewrite a story in the past. And it is important to recognize that that is a very powerful practice. There are many scientific studies coming out of some of our quantum physics that shows some of the illusion of past, present, future, and some of the understanding that there are dual timelines, and we don't have to get into all that. But rewriting a story, past or future, can be very powerful practice. And you can find yourself on a completely different path doing so.
Yeah, but I have a question for you on that. So if you're rewriting a story and it was a bad experience, you rewrite it to something that would be more positive that you learn from in the future? Is that where you're going with that part?
It could be, right? So if it was, is this where I put in the disclaimer about any trauma, but no, if it was a past trauma, perhaps the way you rewrite the story, it has to be truthful to you, right? It can't be a fiction story.
Okay.
So perhaps instead of saying if If I suffered an abuse in the past, let's say, I can't start to try to tell myself, oh, you just imagined that. No. I can't say that wasn't as bad as you thought. No. What I do is I go back and I see myself at that moment, and I give myself the tools and the support that I need at that moment to deal with that trauma, whatever it is.
Right.
Does that
Thank you.
muddy the waters, Bridget, or make it clearer?
No, that makes it clear.
Okay. All right, so let's get to the art now of blending our work and our well-being. The number one is aware. I'm not sure about how each of you approach your days, but my hours will disappear, right? I will be sitting, I will be working, I will be in my mind, and I do not pause till perhaps lunchtime. So putting a couple pauses in your day. So maybe again, we start small and you add one pause mid-morning and one pause mid-afternoon. Become present. Be aware of your presence. Be aware that you are in the present moment. The past is not here right now. The future is not here right now. You are here right now. You are present. And be aware that you have options in each and every moment. You have options, you have choices. And when you are aware of that, you can come at those choices and options not from that either or of your binary brain, but at the place where you have a world of options in front of you. When you pause, we will go to the R of reset. So we've talked about reframing, rewriting, adding resilience. Maybe your 5-minute pause mid-morning is simply to breathe, or to clear your mind, or to look at something funny and laugh, to do your Wordle for today and do something that takes your mind away from what you've been doing. Reset as often as possible, but again, start small. You will find that that brings you to the T of transform. The transformation of your capacity for stress. The transformation of your ability to thrive in any situation, which leads to your success. Your success, not just as an employee, but your success as a person. Your best you. Wellness and work are not mutually exclusive, but blend in a beautiful expression of your best being. Always remembering that you have the power to paint the life you choose. And it's a beautiful piece of art. I can see it. That is all that I have. We do have a few minutes if you would like to do a physical practice of blending a couple of those resilience tools. I see a couple nods. Okay, let's do it. I'll still have you done in time for lunch and whatever pause and reset that brings to your day today. All right, so get yourself comfortable in your seat. Notice your body meeting the surface that you're resting upon. Bring attention to your breath. Inhaling in and out the nostrils. Allow your eyes to close if that is comfortable. If not, just gazing down and allowing your vision to soften. Inhale to a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. 2. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring to mind an affirmation. What you have taken away from today that will be a part of your world from now on. And state it in the present moment as though it is already true. We're now going to watch a movie. See yourself walking into a theater, or perhaps sitting in your most comfortable, easy chair. The power comes on to the movie screen, and you see yourself. You see 3 things that you have accomplished well in the past day. You now see yourself accomplishing the top 3 things on your to-do list. And you see yourself doing so with ease, with total understanding of the best approach. Notice the feeling of satisfaction that comes with knowing you do well. Notice your well-being in that space of doing your best work. Bring back to mind your affirmation. And bring your attention back to your breath. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4. Holding the breath. 2. Exhaling. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bringing your awareness back to this space. Once again, feeling your body in your seat. Feeling your feet on the floor, grounding back into present time and space. And take just a moment to capture any reflections or anything you need to know moving forward. Beautiful work. Are there any comments, any questions, any input? Well, thank you kindly for spending some time with me this morning. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you all again. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Deb.